This week, we're creating 5 lettering enhancements anyone can do in Procreate. I'm putting all of these enhancements together in this project, but you can use any of them individually. We'll be using 2 brushes for this entire piece, my Inky Edge Pro brush for my beautiful lettering brush set, and the Heart Cluster Stamp for my Tuesday Hearts brush set. The color palette is free as always. Just hit the link in the video description and you can download and install it. I'm going to start by creating a brand new canvas. I've listed my specs on screen, and let's begin. Okay, I've got my brand new canvas, and the first thing I'm going to do is set my background color. So tap on the background color layer and choose the very first color in the color palette. The next thing I'm going to do is create my lettering. So I'm going to change my color to the orange. I'm going to make sure I'm on layer 1, and I've got my Inky Edge Pro brush selected from the beautiful lettering brush set. And just so I can make sure that I'm lettering on a straight line, I'm just going to turn on the default drawing guide. So hit the wrench, go to canvas, toggle on drawing guide, and just leave it as it is. Now you can write out whatever word you'd like. I'm going to write mine in all caps, and I'm going to space them out a little more than I usually would because I'm going to add some block letters around them after this step. Once you have your lettering in there, now we can turn off our drawing guide. We don't need it anymore. And the next thing we're going to do is convert this into block lettering. So I'm going to create a brand new layer. I'm going to grab my green color, and I still have the same brush selected. And in order to do block letters, this is the way I've always done it, and it's always been super reliable. So what you want to do is just come around the letter and choose the distance you want from your letter form to the edge of the block letter. And you just want to make sure that's consistent around all of your letters. So since this is my space right here, visually, I'm just going to do my best to match that space around the entire letter. And it's not always going to be perfect, but I'm not going for like a hyper perfect look here. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to maintain this similar space for all of my letters. Okay, once you have your block letters in there, now we actually have 2 lettering enhancements done already. We have block lettering, and this would be considered an inline. We have an inline detail within our block lettering. Now, to take things even further, we need to fill our block letters with a color. So I have chosen this lightest white color, and you can drag the white color into each one of these block letters if you want, or you can hit continue with recolor up here. But it'll make everything white at once. So in order to just select the individual letters, just adjust this flood level down here, down from max, and then you can just tap inside each one of these and it'll fill it right in. Okay, I'm going to return to my layers, and I'm just going to drag this layer underneath my original layer. That way we can see our inline. And the next thing we're going to do is apply a really simple 3D effect. So what you want to do is on this block letter, let me label this one block letter, tap on the block letter's thumbnail and choose select. Down here, make sure color fill is not activated, otherwise this won't work properly. So if this is activated, make sure you deactivate it. Then come over to your colors and choose your orange color. Come back to your layers, create a brand new layer, tap on the layer thumbnail, and choose fill layer. So what we've done is basically just copy the block letter layer and make it orange instead of the 2 color that it was before. Now I'm going to drag the orange layer to the very bottom so it's right above the background color layer. Let me zoom out a little bit. Grab your selection tool, and you're just going to move it just a little bit down and to the right. And now we've got a faux 3D effect. You can see that orange detail right there. So now we've got 3 lettering enhancements. We have block letter, inline, and this is our 3D effect. The 4th effect is going to be a multicolored, multi-layered 3D effect. So it sounds way more complex than it is. What we're going to do is the same thing we just did. So with the orange layer selected, tap on the layer thumbnail, choose select. Once again, make sure color fill is not selected down here. Come to your colors, choose the green color, come back to your layers, create a brand new layer, tap in the layer thumbnail and choose fill layer. So now we've done the exact same thing, only now it's green. And we need the green underneath the orange layer. So tap and hold and then drag that layer underneath your orange layer. Now we're going to do the exact same thing we did with the orange. We're just going to offset it by selecting it and then dragging it down and to the right at a similar angle. So now we have a multicolored 3D effect. And now the 5th and the last effect is adding an additional shadow to this. So it's going to really pop off the screen after we do this. So this one's really easy. All you're going to do is duplicate this green layer that we just made. So slide your layer to the left, choose duplicate. Now you're going to select the bottommost layer. So with that one selected, come to your magic wand, choose motion blur, layer. Now we're going to make the shadow appear at the opposite angle of our 3D. So since the 3D came down into the right, the shadow is going to come down into the left. So I'm just going to tap on the screen and drag it. And as I drag it, you can see that shadow becomes more intense. And I want to go kind of at a similar angle in the opposite direction. And I'm only going to come up to, this is like 18% right here. You can see it up here, the amount of motion blur. So mine, actually, I think I can go a little less. I'm going to like 17%. And then you want to select it. And you can see in here, we've got shadow on the right and shadow on the left. We only want the shadow to appear on the left. So I'm just going to drag this over, and it kind of snaps into place once you get it right behind that green layer, the solid green layer, and then you can deselect. And there you go. You've got a nice shadow really quick, and you can see the difference that makes if we turn it off before and after, how much that pops off the screen once you have it. To add a final detail to the entire piece, I'm going to create a brand new layer and drag it underneath the shadow layer. I'm going to grab my orange color, come into my Tuesday Hearts brush set and grab the heart cluster stamp. And my size for this stamp is right around like 25%. And I'm just going to tap once on the screen and that will put that stamp in there. And now I can resize it if I want to make it a little smaller, reposition it. And because it's pretty strong, I'm going to reduce the opacity. So I'm going to bring this down to like 50%. And there we go. If you'd like more lettering tips just like these, they can be found in my brand new course, Beautiful Lettering in Procreate. I'll leave a link on screen and in the video description. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next week.